Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to the Soft Launch Podcast. So how have you been, Rachel?
Good. Yeah. I'm excited that you're here.
Yes. Me too.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Seen you in a while.
Yeah, no.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the Soft Launch Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
This is my friend Rachel. She is one of my closer friends that I've made in the past few months. Do you want to tell them how we met?
Yeah. Do you I feel like you should start.
Okay.
It's a good story.
I was seeing this guy, Steven, and he lived
I feel like we don't need to give him a lot of.
I know.
Part of me, I'm like we gotta cleanse.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. What should we nickname him?
Yes.
What should we nickname him?
A good nickname?
No.
I can only think of
not a PC name.
I have like an abbreviation.
What?
Of like the bald and the, I don't know. He was a lesson. He was a lesson.
Should we call him Humpty Dumpty? Or Egghead? My friends call him Egghead already.
That's accurate. It's a little mean, but I feel like it's.
What's a nicer name?
The really the hot. No, he was not hot. I mean, he had a really good voice. He was a really good singer.
Really good singer.
Yeah, a good lesson
pastor.
in life.
I don't know what to call him.
Yeah. Yes.
The gay pastor.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the pastor who came out.
Something like that. I was seeing this guy.
Have you talked about him on the podcast? No. You haven't?
Oh wait, no, I don't. I haven't. No, I was saying this for you because you knew him. No one else knew him, but
I feel like I've really.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard you talk about him.
No.
Okay, then we do need to talk about him.
We do. Yeah, so I met this guy on a dating app. Mm-hmm. He was a gay pastor. He was going through a lot when I first met him. He was freshly divorced and going through a lot, and then
he had just come out, right?
He had just come out. I will always be grateful for that experience though, because he was great when it was good. Like it was fun when it lasted. I saw two sides to him. It was like the Christian side, the good side, and then it was the white trash side where
the unhealed trauma side. You guys were cute.
Yeah,
that night that I met you guys, it was really cute.
I know. So, do you want to talk about like how we met?
Yes.
Okay. So it was Halloween, and Steven.
We'll just call him Steven.
We'll just call him Steven. Steven lived in one of our friends' basements. She was actually initially your friend,
Erin.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and he had invited me over a few times, but I said no in the beginning because I thought it was weird to go to someone's basement. You know, I wasn't comfortable with going to someone's.
Did he call it that? Did he say I live in my friend's basement?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was okay with that.
Oh, no.
The things I do for
You were okay with that? Okay. First of all, we need to... I didn't realize he called...
No, he was like, I'm living in my friend's basement. I would love for you to come over in the beginning. And I was like...
He said friend's basement?
Yeah, friend's basement.
Oh, no, Johnny.
And it was his friend's basement. I think
it was his friend's basement. Because he was in transition. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah. He got divorced and... didn't have any money, sold his house, and
he was in his friend's basement.
And decided to move in with him, or he decided to move in with them. But so I remember that day I got dressed. He invited me to Aaron's Halloween party, which was his roommate.
And you guys have been dating for
because
I had heard about you. Yeah, you had been dating for. Okay.
It was like a month, And I remember I was sitting in his room for like 2 hours, and I was doing my homework. He left to go to another party on Halloween, which was the night that we met. It was Aaron's birthday, and she was throwing a Halloween party. And I remember I was sitting in the room for like 2 hours because I was doing my homework, and he had left.
Such a red flag.
But internally, I was afraid to leave the room because I thought like I was in somebody's house. I didn't know like what to do.
So you were like fully dressed and there and like, Johnny, I know.
And I got really hungry at one point. And I texted him, and I remember texting him. I was like, "Can you please bring me some food?" Because I was so hungry.
There was food upstairs.
Yeah, there was food. Yeah. But then I was so hungry, I couldn't wait. So I just built up the courage and got over my fears and literally just walked up the stairs. And I turned to my right, and that's when I meet you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
I love that so much.
I think you said hi to me, and you're like, "Are you Johnny?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I think you said something like, "Oh, I heard a little bit about you." Aaron said something.
Because we matched. Because I was dressed up as Aaron. So Aaron, our friend, is a doctor, and you were dressed up as a patient. And it was like, I remember being like, hey, we go together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's funny is Steven was also dressed up as
he was
a doctor.
also dressed up as a doctor, and you were like like a mutilated patient.
Yeah.
But then it was like, because I didn't really know that many people.
Me neither.
So it was like, and you were like nice, and I was like, okay, I'm
I'm so glad we met. I'm so glad we gravitated towards each other, because I would have had no friends at that party.
Well, and because I remember you said that you were like, Steven, and he's not here yet, and I remember being like, oh, that would suck.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hang out and talk to you, because absolutely not. Like,
no, like seriously,
no.
Yeah, I had the best time though. Like that night, really? I've never had that much fun since that night.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. It was
a good night.
Like free alcohol, free food.
Free alcohol. The karaoke was out of control. I'm not like a karaoke person, but I feel like we did some songs together. Yes. And that was like, it was
good.
Because it was like private. It wasn't like, you were like, there was people there, but it was like.
It was like intimate. Like, and you felt safe there. Yes. I don't know. Like I felt like with songs. Erin, she was very welcoming to me. Like I never felt like a weirdo. Like she never made me feel like some like weird person in her house. Like she always made me feel like I was welcome, which was
amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. She's gold.
Yeah. So we hung out upstairs, and I was like, do you want some food? Do you want to get some food with me? And I remember we like got some Thai food. Yes. Over there.
And they had like really good Thai. I don't feel like I ate it, but I think I ate all the chocolate. But they had like real
Thai food, like a bunch of food. And I was like, I did not need to text Steven to get me food.
Yeah. Because on her invitation, on what's his face, on Nate's invitation, sorry to interrupt you, he said dessert only, or it was like snacks only, and then it was like all of this food.
Yeah, I was so surprised because I asked Steven, I was like, is there gonna be food there at the party? And he's like, I don't know, I just live there. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's weird.
But there was.
You should know that.
But no, it was so good, and then we connected, and
it was like, I want to hang out with you.
It's been good ever since. Like we've just stayed connected, and we had a good time at the party.
Yeah,
and I'm so glad. Like our Instagram messages are so unhinged,
so funny.
I love all the reels that we send each other.
So good, because all of like the random like dating like I'm always like, who can I send these to and see you about like,
because like I feel like we've gone through that stuff a lot.
Yeah.
And
we're both single. We're both in the dating scene. And we get it.
I know. And like Portland dating sucks. And we've been through a lot of shit that, no one wants to go through.
Totally. I feel like that was another reason why I connected with you too, is because I feel like we talked about dating that night, and it was a lot. It was like, how's dating going for you? How's dating going for you? And it was like, let's talk about it. Because it felt like it was the same on both.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, like we got really drunk that night. I think, you had someone drive you home that night?
Yes. Nick, the karaoke guy.
Yeah.
He's my neighbor.
That was funny. Oh, does he live in?
Yes, he lives like 3 buildings over.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I told you that.
Have you seen him around here? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is it like awkward?
He's the, I can't think. He's the like the children's worship. So he's always at church. He leads, which is hot, which is like is attractive because music and like singing, and that's attractive. Like I feel like the Steven, like you can be bald, and I feel like you can be mid. You could be like a
mid,
like a fivers. You can be pretty mid, and then you're musical. You play an instrument. You can sing. Like any of those takes you up,
like just a little bit,
exponentially. Like if you sing well, like Steven, like you can be mid, and it makes you like 10.
It makes you attractive. It's just like such a rare, a trait to have. That's really rare. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you don't really find that often, especially here in the Pacific Northwest. Like you just don't see that a lot. Yeah. So I totally get that.
Like I remember Steven singing, and I remember I was sitting next to one of my girlfriends, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, it's Justin Bieber," and he, and like Justin Bieber, like he looks like probably the opposite of Justin Bieber, but his voice was like smooth and velvet, and
he had a really good voice.
Attractive.
I know.
That would have been hard to resist.
Yes, but honestly, I didn't really know that he was a singer until he came to my house the first time. I realized he was really good. Yeah. No, I'm so glad that we met. It's like the blessing that came out from this was this friendship, because truly,
that makes me feel so happy.
No, truly,
I
like
love that. Me
I
too.
think a lot of relationships when they end, you know, you end up like leaving with nothing. But this was the only one that was most wholesome, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't a relationship based off of money, like status or anything like that. Like he was broke with no money and didn't have a job, but we just hung out together because we liked each other. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't hate him, but you know.
Yeah, I feel like every relationship brings a learning experience. Mm-hmm. And there's opportunity to grow, and you learned. And so there's probably things like you have to, like Johnny, like I'm looking at you, you have, like whatever happened in that, you have to take it to your next relationship.
Yes.
Like the red flags you heard before.
I didn't think that a freshly divorced man was a red flag.
Yes.
But I now find, I now know it is. You know, my therapist says to wait.
Yeah, what does your therapist say?
Wait at least 2 years before you get into a relationship with someone that's been divorced or broken up with.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because he made it feel so real in the beginning, you know?
I mean, it's pretty fresh to go through something like that.
Mm-hmm. Why are you showing me all this, you know, interest and love?
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
You know, if you are like, it felt like he was over it. He wanted a new start. But, you know, I didn't realize that it was just an experiment, you know, to see. Because I was his first, apparently, real gay experience.
Ooh, yeah.
And it, you know.
That doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it kind of sucked to be the experiment, but.
It's interesting because I feel like even in heterosexual relationships, and I feel like it's across the board, it's like in the beginning, they come on to you, and there's like different layers, but can they sustain that? Because it feels so flattering, but then the rule of thumb is the rule of thumb is 3 months. And if that kind of like intense an infection, because usually men do that to suck you in, and they figure out that they don't like you or whatever, and then they move on, and you're sucked in. So you're left. You're like, hello, you are fed by that affection, and it feels really good. And then they decide that and then they go away, and then you're hanging out there, and you're like, and then you're always trying to get back to how it was in the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's always the 3 month mark. I don't know why. I've gone through so many situationships where it's like they end it at 3 months. Mm-hmm. It's like they used you, got you interested, texted you every day for 3 months, and then all of a sudden they decide they want to stop. It's like a light switch flipped, and it wasn't, you know, just like a flip of a switch, like just completely done after 3 months.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's real. It's a universal. It's 3 months.
And it's crazy because I feel like a lot of men do that, even if they're a pastor who, you know, has all these Christian values.
I don't know if it's a guy thing, but I think it could be.
I think it is.
Yeah. It's a 3 month. I think it's a relationship thing too. Yeah. Like getting to know.
And for me,
people. Like even maybe friendships. I haven't really tracked that, but I think for sure romantic relationships, it's like
for sure romantic relationships. For
sure, it's the 3 month rule.
Yeah,
like you're gonna break up, or you're gonna become a situationship, or you're gonna become in a relationship.
Exactly.
And like if they haven't made it official, you're a situationship. I went on a date last night.
Yes.
I think he's Korean, maybe Japanese. But he talked about. So I learned what Asian flesh. The Asian glow.
The red flush.
Well, my aunt taught me about that the night that we met. This is also really hot. This is something that you should look for when you're dating.
Okay.
Self-growth, like working on themselves. So his birthday was December 1st, and he hadn't had a drink for 3 months. Oh. So his birthday was December 1st. So last night was
his first
March 1st. Okay. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so honored. So he hadn't had a drink. So what even day is it? Okay, so it was December, January, February, March. So it's been 3 months. And so he's like, this is a big deal. So we were at McMinimans, and he was like, it's been 3 months since I drank. And we got a beer at Cornelius Pass, and then we moved locations. But it was like,
that was his first drink after 3 months.
Yeah.
Wow. How many drinks
did his therapist told him that. So green flag. And that's something that I look for. A guy who's like working that. So his therapist, he wasn't like a big drinker, but he would kind of drink like a couple weeks, like 2 or 3 times a week. And his therapist suggested, what if you like take a break or whatever? And so he had a drink. So it was kind of exciting.
Ooh. Right? How many drinks did you guys end up having?
So we had one together at McMinimans, and then we moved locations because he's like, I'm having a really good time hanging out with you. I don't want to end it. Well, don't want it to end.
Aww.
So then we went to Wildwood. So then we went to like a brewery
Did
thing.
he pay for everything?
Yes.
Thank God.
Also,
a man that pays for stuff. That's a good thing.
Also, I stopped doing the obligatory reach for the wallet. We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
We are not.
No, you're done with that.
We are not being polite. Like, no.
Especially if they're going to screw you over anyway after 3 months. Like, you're not reaching for your wallet.
It's princess treatment. Like, especially if they ask you out.
Right.
Like, I remember I had a guy later, he told me, he's like, I really appreciated that you reached for your wallet. And at the time I was like, oh, like, that's cool that I did that. Looking back on it, fuck that guy.
No,
like,
fuck that guy.
That's that's kind of a red flag.
It is a red. You're a woman. He's a man. He's supposed to be the gentleman. He's supposed to treat you out, even if he's poorer than you, doesn't make as much money as you. He's always going to be the one to pay for things. But sometimes I'll do this thing where I'll make sure that they will pay. So I'll be like, yeah, I love to get treated, or I'll say something like, yeah, and then they'll be like, I love to treat people, or I don't know, like they'll so that way they know that they're gonna pay.
Like, I'm not gonna date somebody who thinks that I should help pay. You know what I mean?
After the 3-month mark, then we can have a conversation about splitting the bill.
Totally.
But in the beginning, you're gonna always be the princess for sure.
Yes.
Like, absolutely not. You are not paying for his portion of the meal. No, I've had also,
and that's an ick too, I think.
It's an ick, yeah. Especially if guys are asking you to pay or talking about paying, it just means that they're not in the place financially to support you, and I don't think that you should entertain them. Like, what a shitty guy to say, oh, like, you just don't pay for our meals sometimes, and I'm gonna break up with you because of that. I've had a girlfriend actually have that happen to her.
What happened?
So she would do this thing with her boyfriend, and it was like a weekly McDonald's run. And they would go get McDonald's together, and he would pay every single time. But then he eventually broke up with her. And the reason why he broke up with her, she told me this, it's because he said that she never contributed to their weekly McDonald's runs.
That?
Yes.
No.
And he was like a software engineer making $100,000 a year, like full on, you know.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like that.
It's McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Calm down.
Yeah, and
ew.
Yeah, I know.
No, ew. What?
I know. Even like when I went out with Steven, like he still paid for things, and he didn't have a job. And I think it's just a gentleman, thing, a trait to have. And
I mean, it's definitely not like. I feel like as we're talking about it, I feel like it's definitely not probably like the priority thing. Like, it's icing on the cake, because I've been in. Like, I've been in one situationship and he would pay for everything, but he didn't want to commit to me. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're not getting your emotional needs met,
that's a fair
then
trade.
they can pay for everything, but like, it doesn't in the long run. Like, they're still like not what you need.
Yeah.
Like, you need your emotional needs met,
right? And
they need to step on the bill at least on the first date. So it's definitely like a priority, but also like, if they're paying for everything, thinking, because then not that you're a prostitute, but like kind of, or ask for more money if they're not going to commit to you.
Yeah, it's not even about asking for a sugar daddy. It's more so of like, you need to show me that you're interested and show that you can take care of me in the beginning and get me to like you at least, and then eventually I will contribute and help you with the bills and like split the bills eventually. But
I feel like it sets the tone
exactly
for, like, moving forward.
For sure.
Yeah.
So when I first met you, I think you mentioned that you were a teacher. So how has that been for you?
It's the best. It's the best, and it's hard. So I'm a substitute right now. So I got my master's degree. It's good. It's like the best thing ever and the hardest thing ever, because it's little kids.
Oh, elementary or middle school or junior high?
So all, but most right now, elementary, middle school.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it's like what you think of. Like, you're managing 30 kids, emotions and your emotions, and sit down, and it's fun.
And how many years have you been a teacher?
My whole life I worked with kids. I was a preschool teacher, probably 10 years as a teacher. But then before that, most of my jobs, I've been a server. I taught skiing for 10 years. Most of my jobs have been with kids, but in school district, like 10 years.
Yeah. Have you always loved?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I bet when you had your first kid, you were like meant to be a mom. You were like prepared for this.
I was terrified, but it's really fun.
No, your son's so cute. He's so cute. He is so cute. I want to borrow him and like take pictures with him.
He's so cute. The guy that I went on a date last night asked me, he's like, what's your son like? And I have a hard time like,
did you?
Because he's so great.
No, he is.
So I was like, I got choked up. I was like, oh, he's great. There were kids screaming upstairs in the restaurant that we were at, and he's like, are they like that? And I was like,
no, he seems like a really well-behaved little boy.
Yeah,
I love him. He's so cute. I want to meet him one day.
He would love you.
I'll be the gunkle.
He would love you.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with all this makeup on?
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Have you had any crazy experiences with students? Like
yes.
hormone?
Yes.
I remember when I was going to high school, it was a shit show. So I can't imagine how it would be for you. Like, I remember the students in high school just such assholes to the teachers, and I can't imagine
that actually makes me feel better.
I can't imagine being a teacher or substitute or anything like that, because I hate high school, and I hate like junior high, the bullies and teenagers and hormones and all that.
Yeah, it's I don't even know. It's a shit show. It's a crash course on not taking things personally and recognizing that, especially in middle school. Like elementary school, they look like little kids. So when their behavior reflects that, you can feel like you're the adult, and you can be like, okay, I'm the adult in the room. Like, this is what's happening. Middle school, they kind of look more like people. Like adults. Like some of them are taller than you. Like some of them have facial hair. Not that that's, I'm like profiling, but like but they're still like inside. Like you have to remember that them are probably don't like themselves and they're going through a lot. But when they're bratty to you, like I had a girl roll their eyes at me, and it's so hard not to take that personally, because you are putting everything you have into these little humans, and a girl rolls your eyes at you, and you just want to just like. Ugh.
Yeah, you're just one.
And like, I've done that before when I'm beginning and I didn't, and you lose them, and you do that because I feel like kids can sense, and you just
oh my gosh,
you like
rolling your
really
eyes at
hard.
someone, I feel like that is really minor compared to what I've seen. I've had students like literally cuss out teachers in front of the whole class and throw tantrums in front of everybody. So I hope that didn't happen to you ever.
That's happened to me before.
Oh really?
So I started at a middle school right after COVID, and kind of like after, like right after COVID, in general, education was a shit show because kids hadn't. So the school that I was at, it was really rough. We had fights every passing period. We had like,
oh my gosh,
it was insane. We had fights every day. Like teachers were pulling it was girl on girl fights. Like in like not things that like I feel like we grew up with, just as far as because they hadn't been around each other for like a year and a half. They hadn't been, so they would bump into each other in the hallway and be like, ugh, and they would just start going. And the teachers were like, ah. And I feel like it's gotten better, but that was my introduction, and that was
traumatizing probably.
Yeah, I had PTSD from it, and then just the attitudes and respect, and I feel like our age, like you just listen to your teachers, and it's different now.
So are you also doing art on the side? Are you like an artist?
Yes.
I remember buying one of your ornaments from you, and it was really good.
Thank you.
I gave it to one of my friends who was in pilot school.
Yeah. Did he like it?
He loved it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote his name on the back.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
No, that was so cute. So tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did you, have you always been like an artist? Do you like specialize in a certain thing?
I love to draw and paint, and I feel like it's a really big part of kind of who I am. I did not do that. My friend did that. So I grew up, so my mother is so that's her painting over there. I grew up around it, and it just feels second nature. And I kind of got the courage to show people my art a couple years ago. And I would make it like for friends so I love Christmas. So I would make ornaments and cards for Christmas time. And then before COVID, I got the courage to do a Christmas show and sell. I sold like 100 of them, and I would hand draw them all. Because I haven't really figured out like the printing process is hard. And now like it's all saturated, like not that everybody's making art, but it's a pretty saturated market. But it gives me a lot of, I don't know, it feels like it's part of kind of who I am. And I would love to like do it more, but I just need to figure it out.
We're going to segue, and we're going to, this is such a crazy segue. We're going to talk about dating icks.
Yes, because we're both single.
Yeah, we're both single.
And it's a thing.
I was talking about dating icks with my friend.
Yes.
And I know that we both have a lot of dating trauma stories. Do you have any dating icks?
Yeah. There's things that I look for that are like an immediate, so nice hands.
I love hands. I love the veiny hands.
I love like like for me, it's strong man hands.
Yeah, same.
And they have to be bigger than mine, and they have to be like.
Every guy I've met usually has nice
Look
hands.
at their hands. Yes.
Steven's was a little smaller than mine, but his is more feminine. I mean, his was more like masculine than mine for sure.
Oh yeah. Bad breath.
Yes, bad breath.
Yours was bad.
No, I went on a date with a guy in San Francisco,
so bad.
And I went on this date with him. He was super cute though, but
he was also getting sick because when you get sick, your breath is funky. Well, didn't you say he called you?
Yes, he got sick the next day.
Yes, weird things happen when you get sick.
No, it was so bad. I was at this bar with him and I was sitting down and I remember ordering a drink and I was waiting for it and he comes over and he sits down starts talking. I thought that like the kitchen was making something, or I thought that someone just walked by and had horrible breath, but then it just like lingered and I was like, that was when I realized, oh my gosh, it's him. Like, and it was like
horrifying.
Oniony, like grilled onions, but like really intense grilled onions. It's like, I think one of the first things you should do is brush your teeth before a date, or at least like gum before a date. Like I'm so self-conscious about my breath sometimes, especially on a first date. Like, how are you not, No,
it's weird.
Like,
did you say anything? No.
No, but you know,
for you to like be able to smell it, that's bad.
It's bad. No, it was horrible.
He was sick.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that until now.
Yeah. The first time you told me that, I wanted to say I think he had to have been sick, because even bad breath, you have to get like close to someone.
Right. I know. No, before I met up with him, I suggested, maybe he can come to my hotel room afterwards.
No.
And so he never
before you met him.
Yeah, he never let it go. So after the bar, he was like, so do you want to go up to your room? And I was like,
so he remembered?
Yeah.
Oh no. You're like, no.
I'm like, it's really
that was
small.
Before I met you?
Yeah, I had to make up some dumb excuse. I was like, I was just like, it's like really small. I don't think you'd like it. And he's like, it's okay.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah. And he's like, it's okay. I'd love to see your room. I want to see.
No.
I'd be like, I was trying to stall for a little bit, but then he just kept pushing it. And I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So I bring him up to my room and we like talk, and the entire room smelled really bad afterwards. I put on the shower to hopefully help the steam come out. Yeah, yeah. But no, he was like, do you want to do anything? I'm like, no.
He asked?
Yeah.
He said that?
Yeah. I would have if he like didn't have bad breath.
Oh,
but no, I still talk to him on Instagram.
Good.
He's cute, but
yeah. I think he showed me a picture and he's cute.
Yeah. He has hair.
Okay, so the bar needs to be yeah, I know. What is up with these men who don't have hair, thinking that they're like...
What is up with me going for the bald man with no hair?
Yeah, you need to figure that out. I will tell you something. When you go for someone who is more compatible, like you even feel like is out of your league, they're actually in your league, and then you feel better about it. Because they're also, like, if you're going to get screwed over by a mid guy, like the not mid guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like not having clean cuts from their exes. Like there's icks, there's red flags. And I feel like there's personal icks, like things that like your ex did that like if they do something that like gives you like might not give someone else the ick.
Yeah.
You know? And then I feel like red flags that are like dangerous or like red flags that are just like they're not relationship ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, do you mean like when they like still bring up their ex in the past?
Yes.
Or like they'll judge you based off of your actions, based on what they've experienced with other people?
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Oh my gosh. I went on this date with a guy. It was like made out on the first date. Second date, he takes his shirt off. Oh, we were going swimming. I have a pool. He takes his shirt off.
Oh.
He has a cross. Just like a fat filled in cross, takes up his entire back, and the bottom of the cross is a gun.
Oh my God, a gun!
And for some reason, I just thought that was okay. Like, isn't that weird?
That's horrible. A gun under a cross.
But like, so like, think of like a pistol.
Okay.
And like the pistol part turns into like a giant cross.
Oh my God.
Oh, I can also think of another.
What?
A guy with a back. So I was hooking up with the guy, and he had a lower view, and I was immediately like, no, I can't do it. It was a yin yang sign, and it was a tramp stamp.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
I remember I was in my mid-20s, and I was like, he got out of bed, and I was like, no, we're done.
Yeah,
no.
that's gross. Ew.
For me, I was like, no, I can't do it.
For me, I don't like rings, like nose rings, but on the penis. I've seen those before. Like that gives
You
me
have?
Yeah. Like they'll like pierce
who
their
does that?
penis, like the tip, and then it's like a nose ring essentially.
Doesn't that hurt?
I'm sure it does.
That's horrifying.
I'm not into like nipple rings either.
No,
like when
that's weird.
guys do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've also
Yeah.
seen like asshole like tattoos like near the asshole. Or like
around it. Or
yeah.
Like
So in my early 20s, I made the biggest mistake of my life. And I went on a date with this guy who claimed to be single on his dating profile. But when I met up with him at a coffee shop, I found out that he was actually not... I found out he was actually in a relationship, not with one other person, but with 2 other people at the same time. So...
Fuck that. Oh...
I know.
Did they know about each other?
So it was a polyamorous relationship. And
was this in Portland?
No, this is San Diego. So not only that, but
so they knew about each other.
They knew about each other.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it. But then he tells me that they actually have a newborn baby at home. 3 weeks old. Yet this man was on a date with me. I Googled him and I find...
You Googled him?
Yeah. I found out that he's on all these major publications like CNN, Good Morning America, all these different articles, all these different podcasts advocating for polyamory and how they have like a big happy family.
He was like the poster child?
Mm-hmm. How they have a big happy family, but they fail to leave in the part that they're open and sleeping with other guys.
So his other partners were men, and then he had a baby with one of them.
Yeah, one of them. That's true.
And the other guy knew about that guy.
Yeah, and they're all like raising the children together. Like they're a throuple, basically.
So I feel like those are the guys that are on... Like
dating
I see
apps?
that, yes, but they usually will put it, or they'll put a picture of them and like their girlfriend or their partner, and they'll be like, "We're looking for someone else to be like our third or whatever."
But this guy,
that wasn't advertised.
No, this guy was like single on his dating profile, never mentioned other partners until I went on this coffee date. And it's
but it was just a coffee date.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, ew.
But it was a long coffee date. Oh my god.
When did he disclose that like right away or like not?
Yeah, I had to ask him, but he disclosed it. It's happened to me a few times.
Yeah. Really?
It's happened to me a few times in Portland too.
Yes, Portland. Yeah.
They don't tell you at first. Sometimes they leave it out, the relationship status.
Yeah.
And if you do that, I would just assume that you're single, right? If you just leave out the relationship status.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not tell? Like that's also an ick. Like, don't tell me that you're in a relationship on our date.
Like,
tell me before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
So that guy Robert, my situationship, our first date, he was seeing a woman who was married. So she was in an open, like that should have been like a red flag for me.
Oh
but
my God.
so he was single. So he was like living a single life, but he was like dating her, but she was married, but she was in like an open relationship.
Oh my gosh.
And he would say things like, yeah, I really like not having the responsibility and it can like come and go. And like that should have been like red flag for me.
That's
and I remember
horrible.
being like, I remember like joking, like he said that and I remember being like, oh, like you're going to hell.
Yeah.
Like,
why would he participate in that? That's weird.
yeah, but I think it gets it got him out of like the responsibility of like being in a committed relationship. Like you can do whatever you want
Because he was already with someone else, or she was with someone else already.
But I had dated him for a while he was like still seeing her, and then he was seeing just both of us casually. But I think I was still dating. I was keeping my options open. But like dumb. Like I even had a friend. She's like, "Why?"
That is so dumb, Rachel. I literally want to slap you right now on this couch. Like seriously, come on.
It's funny when you say things out loud. Like,
no, you're like you need to be the only in these men's roster. Like we cannot have.
When you like for some reason, because it was kind of like he had weird teeth, and I remember being like, but I had a friend. She's like, don't date a guy. Like if you don't align with that, like why would you like a. You know what I mean?
You were probably just bored. And I
was really bored.
When I met Egghead, like I was bored. That's the only reason why we connected. Also, the options in Portland are so sparse now.
No, they're not. We need growth mindset. I mean, they are, but like we need to change that mindset.
I think it's just the dating apps, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wish I went to that Portland night market with you.
I know I didn't go to that. We'll figure something out.
Dating apps, people are weird on there. Yeah. I admit, all the crazy stories I've had are from dating apps. Like these men that I meet.
Yeah.
They come from dating apps.
Yeah. It's a numbers game. And it's like, I saw this video of like a girl's perspective. She made a profile and she went, I sometimes I think I got curious once and I made it like interested in women just because you like to see your competition. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just so many options. So I think it's just like the scrolling. And I wasn't finding just like quality. You know, I just wasn't finding. It was just like the guys weren't looking for what I was looking for.
Right.
So I'd rather meet someone in person.
I feel like for me, I'm like a niche. So I'm like Asian twinkie. So it's guys who are interested in that, you know, have a fetish for Asian men usually would, you know, gravitate towards. But then it becomes this thing of like, I'm just good enough for sex and I'm not good enough for anything else. And a lot of older men reach out to me too, which is,
you need to not. Yeah. We're over that phase.
When I first, that doctor the one in San Diego that I was just talking about, he was 43 at the time and I was 19. And Johnny. I know I was so young and naive and I just didn't think to do any better, but
you can do a lot better.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to find someone in their 20s or 30s.
Yeah, you will.
But it's been hard.
And it's interesting because if you think about, you feel objectified on the apps. And then when you meet them, you feel like that's like all that they want. Yeah. And in person, it's not it's not like that. And I think it's just healthier. It's
just based off of conversation, the chemistry that you have together. Like if you meet someone on an airplane, it's like you guys have a destination in common, and you know, like you spark up conversation that way. And it's not like based off of sex or like what you look like.
Yes.
Or
and the app, it's like it is.
It's totally just superficial, like outside, you know.
This is like a two-parter. So I'm at the farmer's market and I had just gone for a run and I remember when I had it, like I felt really gross. There was this guy selling vodka. He was like the sample distiller. You probably know him. He like goes to all the farmer's markets.
Okay. I think I've seen that before.
Yeah. Where they like...
They have
they have samples. It's like 10 in the morning and they're like sampling it up. I remember like I was looking at him and like we kind of did the flirty like eye contact. Mm-hmm. So I get courage and I walk over there and like basically like I buy alcohol, but it turns into him asking me out like that. And like I buy vodka from him and Bloody Mary mix from him and he's like really cute. And this is like my first date experience after my ex. And I was on Bumble, but I hadn't like asked no one. I hadn't really like I hadn't met up with anybody on a dating app. And I remember Bumble was like in my pocket and I got the courage. I went over there and he asked me out. So we set up the date. So that like triggered something in me. I was like, oh, maybe everything is fine. And like everything's great. So I pull out Bumble and this guy that I was talking to, I asked him out I was like, what are you doing? And I asked him out. I was like, we didn't make a date, but it was like, okay, let's go out. Cause he was like kind of the guy that I wanted to see. And I was like, okay, like, I'm just going to have courage. Like,
so there's that guy that you met at the blind.
So these are two different dates.
Oh, so two different people. Okay.
So two different people.
Bumble
so the vodka guy.
Wine. Okay. The vodka guy.
Okay. So I go home, I drink vodka. I'm drunk kind of. And I go meet him at Loyal Legion where we went.
Yes.
In a booth. So we go and we walk in and this part's important because this part's important. So we go, we have a date, I meet him and we're in this booth and he's kind of, and he's just pounding. I think we're both nervous, but we're just like pounding alcohol and like a lot of stuff comes out too soon. Like don't overshare in the first date, like comes out too soon. Like just regret all of that. He didn't know that I was a mom and like that comes out and his reaction was like gross. He was it's like something switched. So immediately I'm like, this is not my person. But like, long story short, so I drive there and I'm drunk. And so we make out. And so he takes me back here and we come back here and we're making out and like, we end up sleeping together. And like, it's kind of like, I think at some point I was like, I don't want to do this, but like, it was just easier, like whatever. Mm-hmm. So we get over that, like whatever, like really drunk. And he's like, do you want me to drive you back to your car?
Wait, you asked him that?
Yeah. So we get here and my car's there and I'm like worried it's going to get towed. He drives me back and then I realize when we get there, I'm like, I'm too drunk. I can't.
To go back.
So he drives me back and then he drops me off and then I text him like, can you take me back? Just like...
to go back to your car because you were feeling better.
And it's like 3:00 in the morning. He's like, no. And so he leaves. And I remember being like, like, so I had my girlfriend come over. She's a neighbor. So we like come over, we drink on the porch. So
at 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m, it was like probably 4 a.m. I mean, it was consensual, but it was also like, I think at one point I said stop, but it was like kind of icky. It wasn't a good vibe. And then the next day, I remember I felt really clingy. I was like, why is he not texting me? But I was like, it was not a good vibe. So the next day, it might have been 2 days. Nope, it was the next day. The Bumble guy, I meet the Bumble guy. So we go to the Beaverton food carts, and he's really sweet. We walk over to Loyal Legion. We walk into Loyal Legion. We sit in the exact same booth.
Okay.
And it's a 180 experience. And it was like the universe saved me. And I parked. Okay, this is where it gets good. So I park in a parking spot. He comes back here. He drives me home. Spends the night. I don't think we slept together. So we made out a lot. Something happened. He drives me back in the middle of the morning. My car is gone. It's towed.
Oh my God.
It's towed.
Rachel.
The next morning, I don't remember what happened. The next morning, he drives me to the tow place. He pays for it because it got towed because he feels bad.
Gosh.
Because I get out of the car and he tells me that I go, can I park here? And he tells me that it's okay to park there. So it's a total 180. Because he's like a gentleman, so he pays. It was like $400 to get my car out of there. So he paid for it. We went and got coffee. Awesome. So we paid for it. We went and got coffee, and then he went to work, and like we went on our way. Isn't that funny?
That's amazing that he paid for you. Have you talked to him since?
Yes. His name is Kenny, and he works at Nike, and he had like 300 pair of shoes, which I think that in hindsight, like, no, we're not doing that. Like, that's a red flag. But also, we went on like 3 or 4 dates.
He's a sneakerhead.
Well, he worked at Nike. We went on 3 or 4 dates, and I like overthought it. Something happened. It was like the typical blow up. It was like the typical, like, you overthink it, and then you ask them what's wrong, and then they were.
Well, did he?
He was the tattoo. He had the cross tattoo with the gun.
Oh my gosh.
Same guy.
Well, maybe it was a blessing in disguise.
I think it was a blessing in disguise. And then months later, I was out at karaoke with a girlfriend, and his friend comes and hits on my friend, and he's. This guy, Kenny, is the guy. He's standing next to this guy who's hitting on my friend.
Okay.
And I was like, look at, and there he's like she's not into it. And I go, oh my God, I know him. And he like had kind of gotten fat. He gained weight. Oh. I was like, oh my God.
Is that such a good feeling when you run into someone that's gained weight?
Yes, it was such a good feeling. And I remember being like, nope, I'm living my best life. And he ended up coming over and we slept together and then never saw him again.
Wait, he came over after you saw he was fat again?
He wasn't like fat, but it was like he was pretty skinny. He had like put on, but I saw him and then we like all did karaoke together and then him and my friend and his friend were like talking and then then I was like, Kenny, I was like, I don't know, I was like, do you remember me? Or he's like, hey. Yeah, it was weird. It was uncomfortable. And then it was like revenge makeout.
Okay, so after that, did he ever reach out to you, or did you guys ever connect with each other after that?
Yes, he reached out. It was kind of a ghost situation. So every time he texted me, I would send him Ghostbuster memes.
Okay.
Because he was like a ghost, and then it ended. I think we were both kind of over it. And then I was on a date 2 months later. So this was January. I was on a date in February, and I saw him with that friend. I was on another date. Didn't say anything. And I told the date. I was like, oh, I know that guy.
The date knew that you were on, like, that you've like hooked up with that other guy.
I didn't
Kenny.
say that I hooked up with him, but I was like, there's somebody here
him.
that I know. And he's like, it's fine. And that guy ended up also being a dirtbag. But
oh my gosh. All these dirtbags, Rachel.
But they come back. But that was a good opportunity because I remember I let everything out, like what went wrong. And it was like you ghosted me, like what the heck? And it was like, we're in a bar and we're drunk. And then it comes over and then I felt like released from the situation.
Oh my God.
That was like my beginning of dating. And I felt like that was a redemption. So it was like a really bad night. And then the next night, it was like the same thing. It was like the same restaurant. Same like car situation, and he paid for it. So it was like
sometimes we think that we are getting like a good situation, but sometimes there's something better out there that comes,
right.
And it's always a good feeling. It makes you realize how shitty the last relationship was when someone shows you a good time.
And it doesn't have to last forever. It can just like teach you a lesson and then.
But I have a hard time letting go sometimes. I'm just like really petty.
No, I know.
No, I really do, because I have a hard time with that, because I was seeing this guy, his name was Aaron, and he worked for Aaron. Name. It was one of those situationships where it did end after 3 months, and he just texted me deciding that he didn't want to be in a relationship with me.
Oh.
He would take me out to dinner like every week and like pay for it.
Okay.
And I would always choose a really nice place, because you know me, I'm not going to go to if you're going to fuck me over, I'm not going to go somewhere cheap.
Yeah.
So every time we go out on dinners and stuff, he like would always like be texting this guy under the table.
Ew.
I know.
Red flag.
Every time I would ask him about it, he would always say, oh, it's just a friend. Later, I find out they were like sleeping with each other.
Yeah, red flag.
And it's like, what the fuck? This is why I run up the bill when I hang out with you, is because you're just like fucking around all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not talking to him anymore.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I have him blocked. And then on top of that, he just like has a big egotistical, thing going where he thinks he's like superior.
Red flag.
I know. He like,
Ew.
he doesn't last long in bed.
Red flag.
He like lasts a minute. Have you ever had a guy come in a minute before? Or like,
I had a guy come in my early 20s when we were making out, like before, like his pants were still on.
Oh my God. His pants were still on?
I think my pants, I was like kind of, we were like, yeah, it was.
Oh, giving him a hand job under the.
No, I didn't even touch it.
Oh my God.
We were like making out and then he got too excited.
Wow. Was it just pre-cum, do you think? Or
no?
Oh, full on ejaculation.
In that situation, it wasn't.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. He didn't last very long in bed, and he would do crazy things.
Yeah.
And then he texted me saying that he wanted things after a few months.
Yeah.
But then after that, he came back after not having me.
They always come back.
And he asked for the same thing. He's like, hey, I don't think that we're a good fit for a relationship still, but I would love to be friends with benefits with you.
No.
I know.
Peace.
I know.
We're moving on from that.
I'm done with him,
Block
but
him.
he was a piece of shit.
Is he blocked?
Yeah.
What's the pettiest thing you've done? I know.
Oh, the pettiest thing I've done.
Don't talk about it.
I have texted someone's mom before, airing out their dirty laundry to their mom, which I felt like was very well deserved, by the way. Like, you don't lie to me and to my face 4 times.
Learn how to be petty.
I mean, what else have I done?
Slash tires.
No, that's on my bucket list though.
Let's slash somebody's tires.
I don't have anyone.
I haven't done anything like that.
I don't think I.
I feel like
there's just cameras everywhere now, and I feel like self-conscious about that. I was thinking about pulling up to Aaron's house one time when Steven was still living there and doing that, but then like
just glitter.
Because
glitter isn't like glitter or feathers isn't like property damage. You know what I mean? Like slashing tires is like property. It's like low-key felon.
I wrote a Google review on on an ex's workplace. And it was like it was a long ass post about how he was
obsessed.
Yeah. Doing shitty things. I don't know. I don't remember what I said, but it was just like not a real review. But it kind of blew up in my face because he ended up like getting an email from like the director. And then he sent me a text being like, hey, I saw a Google review.
He knew it was you?
I didn't respond to it, but he like, if I knew if I responded to that, it would have showed that I admitted to something. So I didn't like.
You didn't respond? Mm-mm. Good for you.
Yeah.
He smelled so good.
Do you know what cologne he was wearing?
Yes. Bradbury. Bradbury.
Fancy.
Yeah. Yes.
Burberry.
Yes. He said it was fancy. And oh my God, I wanted to I smelled like him on my way home, and I was like,
did we want to talk about it on the podcast?
No, because I think I said I didn't want to talk about it.
Okay.
But also we can talk about it.
Okay. So
is it because it's Bradbury?
The Burberry.
Wear it.
It's expensive.
You should wear it.
I don't like wearing perfume or cologne. Makes me cough.
Me too. I don't wear it. I like when guys wear it.
Same. Especially when they go down on you. It just, I don't know, it feels more.
He did try to go down on me, and I was like, it's the first date, calm down.
You don't think he like stopped himself?
I had Skims on.
Like the bodysuits?
I might have thrown you under the bus.
What do you mean?
So I used you. I was like, my friend Johnny. I was really not nervous, and I was talking to my friend Johnny. I get really nervous when I go on a first date. Do you?
Not anymore. Like maybe on the drive there I do, but then when I get to them, I'm like, oh, this is fine.
Okay, it's
just
so
another regular
nervous.
Joe Schmo. Just another regular Joe Schmo.
I don't know how to do that. I get so nervous. I put on these fake eyelashes. I never wear fake eyelashes. Halfway through the date, they're like, he goes, "You have a fake eyelash in your hair." I was like,
"Oh my god,
don't wear fake eyelashes."
Rachel! Oh my god,
horrifying. And then for some reason, I felt like I needed like a sucker in thing, so I wear. I'm already wearing a bodysuit, so I'm wearing like the thing, like it's a shirt, but then it like hooks underneath.
Okay.
So I put on these like skim because I want to feel like snatched. Mm-hmm. So then we're like making out, and he's like feeling everything, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I have these. I got really nervous, and I was honest with him. I was like, I got really nervous, and I put on these sucker in. I was like, have you heard of Skims? He's like, I have actually, and I was like, I put on these sucker in. I was really nervous about coming on this date.
What are they like? Are they just like...
They went up here. So they're granny panties. So they put them on, and they're super tight. So like not on, they look...
Why do you need them?
But my shirt was like tight, and I just wanted like an extra...
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But he's like making out, and...
I guess you weren't expecting for him to go down on you like that.
Well, he didn't go down, but just like when you're making, like he was like touching this area, and you could feel it, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I have these really embarrassing...
What did he say?
He was like, oh yeah, you shouldn't have worn those. And I was like, I got in my car and I was going to take them off, but I would have had to take my pants off, and it would have been a whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I did say, hang on, and I got my car, and then I sat there, and he's in his car, and I was like, this is so dumb.
You don't need them, Rachel. Like seriously.
I called it a chastity belt. I was like, this is good. This is like our chastity belt. Okay, so I wasn't even planning on kissing him, and we go to the end, and we like hug, and he's like lingering, and he goes, can I kiss you?
Okay. We love consent.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
And I was like,
green flag.
Oh, I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, you want to kiss me? Oh. And then I was like, yes. And he's super tall, and he didn't lean down.
Like hold on to his shoulders and like reach for the stars.
Toes. And at some point I was like, you're really tall. Can you lean down? He's like, oh yes.
Were you wearing heels or just regular tennis shoes?
Oh, regular tennis shoes. I almost wore heels. I'm glad I wore tennis shoes. He was wearing really hot athleisure wear. Okay. And he had he told me about his underwear. He had Lululemon underwear, which I guess is really nice.
I heard they're comfortable. I don't know. Also, $100 a pair. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he makes good money. I think he makes good money. But probably like an hour. Don't move. Oh my god. Oh my god, you have a bug on you. Don't move.
I do not have a bug on me.
Dude, it's horrifying. I don't even... Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's a stink bug. I have those all the time.
He asks a lot of really good questions.
Oh.
Which is a green flag. Yeah. Because if you've been on a date with someone who doesn't, it's the worst.
Yes. I went on a date with this guy. His name was Brett, and he was also a pastor. And every single time I would ask him a question, he would answer back in like 2 sentences and then be done. And so I'd have to come up with...
And you want to ask you a question back?
No,
No,
not really.
No, that's weird.
And it's like, it was like nails on a chalkboard trying to like keep up a conversation with him.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Horrible. It's like, I just don't get it. Like, if you're on this date, like, why are you not trying to have a conversation? Why are you like deliberately trying to be boring?
He was very engaging. Like, he wanted to like
get to know you.
Yeah. And then at some point, I feel like I was, because I haven't been on a date, and like the last date that I went on, do you do this? Do you connect? Like, if you have like a bad experience, do you bring it into your next date?
No, not really. I've only had guys do that to me. Like trauma dump on me. And
not like deep trauma, but like my last
like
date,
preconceived notions. You mean like
my last date? Just it was kind of icky and weird, and I brought that into this date. It was like, because of that, it was like, okay, like a generalization. Like, okay, that date wasn't good, so like maybe this date's gonna be like weird. But you can't do that.
No, you really can't.
And it's gotten me into trouble.
You have to start on a clean slate.
Yeah, nobody told me that. Yeah, it gets you into trouble. It's gotten me into trouble.
Oh my gosh, Rachel,
dude.
No, I try to go in with a clean slate. Mostly, I try to go in with a positive attitude, and like every guy is different, and you know. I really just go off of the guy's vibe. Usually I try not to like bring any of my past bullshit into, you know.
How do you do that? Can you teach me how to do that?
I mean, I think you just like block it out. I don't know.
It like replays over in my head. I'm like, okay, what was the feeling? How did I feel when I went on that date?
gosh, that's hard, Rachel.
I know.
I mean,
need to figure it out. No, what? I'm an overthinker.
No, I think it's just put on a new
you
pair.
You can just compartmentalize things.
Yeah.
I can do that.
I don't know. I just go in like it's a fresh start, new person, new face, new body. Like he doesn't know anything about me, and he doesn't know anything about my experiences.
I like that. Yeah.
So you're able to show them your best face, and it's like your new face basically.
Yeah. I love your necklace, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
I need to steal that because
We'll work on it.
Not your necklace. I need to steal your. I need to steal the separate because it's so hard.
So okay, so you after this date, what happens?
So it's going really well. So we're at McMinimans, and we got there at 6, and then at like 7:40, we were like, he was like, "How are you feeling?" I was like, "I feel great." He's like, do we want to like go get a drink somewhere else? And I was like, yeah. I was like, are you ready to go home? He's like, no. He's like, I want to keep hanging out with you. So I was like, let's move locations. He also guessed what kind of car that I drove, which was very attractive. He's like James Bond. He can like.
Oh.
Yeah.
What kind of car did he guess?
A RAV4.
Oh. What kind of car does he drive?
A Toyota 4Runner.
Okay.
Hot.
I love those.
Hot. It's better than Chuck because it's not big dick energy, but it's like an SUV. It's good. It's good. It's man.
It's tall.
It's the tall car. It's like a man
and
thing.
It's a good car to what's that term when you want to have fun in the car? What is it called? I'm horrible with vocabulary words.
Go places?
I forget. Whatever. Move on. Okay, so you go back to his car.
So he walks me to my car.
Okay.
And then gives me a hug. And then we go and we drive to our second location. And we go in and we order the same beer. Then we sit and talk. I asked him what kind of music he likes. And he goes, oh, I was thinking about asking you that too. And then he shows me all his liked song. And he passed on the music vibe. Like,
is he okay with Taylor Swift?
Yes.
That's the most important thing.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. And I told him that. I said, you passed the test because he had a Taylor Swift song on there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I told him that.
A lot of straight men don't like Taylor Swift.
Red flag.
It's horrible. They like super homophobic and they hate Taylor Swift sometimes.
Yeah. Which is a red flag because she's a powerful woman. And if you can't get on board with that, I can't get on board with you. Like, right. go away.
Exactly. I can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for saying that. That's really validating. I love Taylor Swift. And I said that. I was like, I'm really glad you like Taylor Swift.
I like someone that has no judgment, just like is really open
there's
to.
No reason to hate on her.
Exactly.
Go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay. So you guys go to this new place, Loyal Legions. Is that the second one or is that the first one?
No, so Loyal Legion was the other story that I was telling you.
Oh, okay.
So Wildwood it's down the street. So it's just a brewery.
Okay.
So they don't do food. They just do
alcohol. Okay. That's fun.
Yeah.
Guys,
and we just get alcohol and
okay. So
and he gets the Asian flesh. And he was really cute. He had red cheeks.
Did he mention it to you or did you notice it first?
He mentioned it to
okay.
me. And I said, my friend Maya Ann told me about that. At the party that you and I met.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get her a drink. She's like, I can't drink because I get... And then I asked you, I was like, you're drink... Because you were drinking.
Yeah, I was. A lot.
Yeah.
And I don't think I got it because I
think she just uses it as an excuse.
No, I don't think I get it. Do I look red now?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I have Asian flush. I think it's just more of a...
I think it's a mental thing.
Yeah,
I don't think she gets it either. I think there's something to be said about having that you want to kiss somebody right away.
Right away, yeah.
Like, there's a fine line. Like, you don't want, like... This is what I've learned.
Like a full session, but...
Well, we had a full... Like, yes. But there's also, like the most toxic, best person in bed that I've ever dated was really bad for me emotionally. But he was, like, the best in bed.
Right.
Best in bed. But then there's, like, the other... I don't know. I just learned, I think, not that it's okay if you kiss on the first date, but I think it's okay if you kiss on the first date.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have to be like...
I also don't like it when guys... Like, I've had a guy ask me on a second date, but he wanted me to go to his house.
Yes.
And I remember telling him... Yeah. I remember telling him, I was like, I don't feel comfortable with going out with you to your house on the second date. And he was looking for a serious relationship too. And, I tried telling him it, but you know what his excuse was? He just kept saying, he was like, oh, I have like a mortgage to pay and I'm doing renovations on my house and
I said that.
I have vacations I'm going to this year. I prefer to entertain at home. And I was like, bitch, if you have enough money to buy a house and to have a mortgage to renovate your house on top of that and then to go on vacations, you have enough.
No, get out of here.
You
he
have
wanted
enough
to get laid. It's
exactly.
It's red flaggy.
Exactly. And I told him that. Like, I don't do that with guys. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But he just kept pushing the house date. And it's like, you're an idiot. I'm not going to your house.
Yeah.
So ended that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. He took me out on like a couple, it was kind of like how your situation was. He took me out to a restaurant and then was, wanting to hang out longer, and we went to a different place afterwards.
Yeah.
And he spent a lot of money, but still.
Great.
Like,
but that's his choice.
That's his choice.
Yeah.
And still, like, you still need to like do outside dining and, do outside dates other than a house date before the third date.
Is he the one that asked you to pay you back?
Oh, no. Thank God.
That is horrifying.
I know.
What is that?
Oh,
that is absolutely.
I know.
No, goodbye.
I know. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I did go on a date with a guy in San Francisco who asked me to pay him back after the second date, and it was a 6-day date. Yeah, I've never had a guy do that before.
Who does that? Never had a guy do that.
Never. One of my girlfriend, she went on a coffee date with a guy in San Francisco, and he asked
back for coffee.
He asked her to pay her back for coffee. He asked her to pay him back for coffee.
Where do these men come from?
I don't know.
That is horrifying.
And these men are like the ones
that's like $5.
And these are the ones that make like 6 figures too, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
horrifying.
I know. I've had a guy ask me for a picture of my hole like before.
What did you say? Did you send him one?
No, I don't have whole pictures.
Like your butthole?
Yeah. Like, how would you even take a butthole picture?
You should just Google a butthole picture.
Google
an animal butthole.
Yes.
And be like, this is my pig.
No, I literally do that. Butthole. Actually, I have
you done that?
I have shirtless pictures of other people.
That's so funny.
And I just send it to them.
That's so funny.
No, like I would not
That's
send a picture of my own.
At least get paid. Like that's like OnlyFans status. Be like, cool, send me $50 and yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Or send me some money.
It's like, if you haven't done anything for me, why would I send you a photo of my ass? Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But you had an experience where this guy asked you for to take off.
It was like a I don't know. I had gotten the ick for a while, and he kind of made the assumption. It was like, let's hang out and we can like take your panties off, or like some, I don't know. And it was like, we're not there. Like, calm down. Like,
yeah.
Like if you're in a relationship with someone with like that, but it was just like, and he had made a comment. He was like in Mexico. He was like in Costa Rica. And I had asked him how it was going, and he was like, "There's great hot women here," because I had already told him I wasn't interested. So I think he was trying to make me jealous. And he's like, "There's hot women here, or you can," I don't know. And it was such a turn off. Mm-hmm. And then the next text message was like, "Let's hang out and take your panties." It was just like, what? Go away.
Oh my God, fuck off.
Fuck off. And
fuck
he's like,
all the way
it
off.
is fuck all. Oh my God, thank you for saying it. Fuck all
Seriously,
the way off.
What a piece of shit.
Just like misogynistic, like, ew. Like,
horrible.
Go away.
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Best date you've ever been on?
Best date I've ever been on.
Oh, do you want me to do a part?
I did have a guy pick me up from my house. He drove an hour and a half from Corvallis to Portland to pick me up.
Green flag.
And then he took me out for dinner. And that was probably the sweetest thing I've ever had a guy do for me. I've had a guy mail me flowers one time.
Oh.
But that was...
Yeah.
But the thing is that the guys are always their best in the beginning. They put out their best face forward in the beginning, and so I think a lot of them do give good dates in the beginning, but then it like dies off eventually. Right. So it's not realistic stuff, people. It's just an act,
like sucking you in.
Yeah, sucking you in, trying to get you drawn in to.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I have a good bad story. The guy, situationship last year decided he was over. Have you heard of Are We Dating the Same Guy on Facebook?
Yes, you were telling me about
thousands and thousands of women are on it.
Yes, I heard about that Facebook page.
Okay, so I meet this guy Brett.
Okay,
I'm calling him out. Mm-hmm. And we go to Loyal Legion, and he's a firefighter, and I get like, I get like swooned in, and it's very fast and it's very quick. And this all happened within like a week. So like our first date, and then constant texting. He wants to see me. Shows up with flowers, brings burritos. Like first time he comes over to my house.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I thought. Yep.
Flowers.
Yeah. And then and it's like constant, like he wants to see me. What are you doing? And I remember thinking like, this is too much. Like I can't do this. Like I'm a single mom. I didn't think something was up. I was really flattered. Looking back on it now, basic boundaries. And there was ask men, like they're good friends if they have like a good social circle, like really extravagant, like I want you to be my girlfriend, like
within a week.
Oh
my gosh.
And we're like really intense, like spends the night on Friday, doesn't leave till Sunday, like we like date all day,
a 2-nighter.
Like he's here.
Wow.
Like might have been the 3-nighter.
Oh my gosh.
So it was Friday. He might have left on Monday. I get a hunch. I look on, and he was in the military, and he was like, at some point I like went to jail because I got in a fight, and I like got out the next day. I got in like a brawl. I got drunk at a bar. Like that's like what he said it was.
Okay.
So I get this hunch, and I go on, are we dating the same guy? And I type in his name. First guy that pops up. It says he's bipolar. He lives in a group home. He is an active felon.
Oh my gosh, Rachel.
He's like diagnosed psychopath, and he's not that he's murdered somebody, but he's on parole.
Rachel, this motherfucker was in your house for 3 days, and you had no idea the entire time.
No idea. Just gut. I looked at it, and then it was
gosh.
gone. So his sister deleted it. So I text, and he's trying to meet up with me for sushi because he spent the night at my house. So he has a curfew at his group home that he missed. And he's like trying to get sushi with me, and I was like, I need to talk to you about something. And so I just came out with it. I was like, I looked on this page and like, do you have a felony? Do you live in a group home? He's like, yes. And he's on his way to the courthouse to be arrested because he's trying to get sushi with me because he missed his parole. And he's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I knew I should have told you sooner. Like,
oh my gosh.
But like, I'm giving you my number to my sister. Like, I just want like everything to be okay. Blah blah blah. And he writes me letters when he's in jail.
Oh, he writes you letters while he's in jail.
So it wasn't jail. He got sent. It gets worse. It's a mental institution. He calls it, and I keep getting calls from the mental institution. Then I backtrack. Then I panic, and I unblock my situationship, have him come over, and I tell him this whole story.
Oh my God, Rachel.
So then I get sucked into the situationship, and he's like, yeah, but I like needed to like process it. And then he like sends me a letter later, and at some point I told the friend, she's like, do not. Like I was to like keep talking to him because he had to go to the mental institution for like so many days, and he was eventually going to get out, but I didn't respond.
How did he know your address?
I don't know. And we had taken selfies like on a date, and he like put the selfies like, and he's like, I have this photo with me. Like I'd only known him for like 7 days. I was flattered.
You were right before he was going to flip on you. He would have like turned into like the devil.
Oh, and that's what else it said in the thing. It said he will love bomb you. He's a felon. He lives in a group home. He has bipolar diagnosed.
Yeah.
Like scary guy.
Oh my God.
His picture that he used on Bumble
was on that Facebook profile. Oh
like
my gosh.
Like 2 or 3 of them. And then later I looked it up and it was gone. It was like, I felt like it was like the universe being like, yeah.
God just like saved you there.
Yeah.
You would have been sucked in. You would have been stuck with this bipolar
he
man.
He was like firefighter.
He was a firefighter?
It said that he was a compulsive liar also in that. So it was also like, then I don't even know if anything he told me was true.
Wow, Rachel.
I actually totally forgot about that.
I've heard about this Facebook page before.
I have to like deep dive. Yes.
Any woman out there who is dating a man who they're unsure of, just go on this dating profile. I mean,
I also was going to ask you, I was going to look up, like if you have any guy you wanted me to look up, I could look them up on there.
So I had this guy come over, super muscular, really macho guy, hot, like beefy. Like he comes over, we hook up, he leaves, and I get a knock on my door. And there's this girl at the door, blonde hair, long hair, Juicy Couture tracksuit, pink, like cropped.
Oh no.
And I hear arguing outside. They were screaming at each other outside. She was asking like, what are you doing here? Whose house is this? And I was up in my room washing myself off, so I didn't get a chance to open the door or anything. But he calls me and he tells me that this is his ex-girlfriend. And she tracked his car to my house.
That's and did she not know that he was?
No. Yeah. if I opened the door, she might have known, but like I didn't open the door.
Good for you.
No, he calls me frantically saying that this is his ex-girlfriend. She's crazy. She's lost her mind. She's still in love with him and she's still tracking his location. And so he leaves and I the only thing I have left is the Ring doorbell.
This is so sketchy.
I know. And I was thinking about posting his picture on there to see if any women would come forward and tell me if, they're dating him too.
Probably.
But yeah.
I could look it up too.
Yeah, I just don't know his full name. I just have.
It's usually just like the first name in the picture.
Okay.
You don't do last names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of course, it had to happen on the one time I bring someone over. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on my soft launch podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It was so nice having you. I'm so
You're
glad
amazing.
we met at Aaron's party.
It was a little nerve-wracking, I think, but it's fun.
Later, bitches.